everyone, and welcome back to Spirituality with Gabriella. So today I am in Maine on vacation, and I wanted to do this pick a card reading on who are your spirit guides. So if you're curious about the personality of your spirit guides or what their background is and how they came to start watching over you, then I'm going to try and get as many messages as possible in this reading and keep it as detailed as I can. And of course, if you like my content, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you have not yet, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow, and it lets me make more and more pick a card videos. So let me know if you have any requests today, guys. I am happy to do those for you. So today what I'll be asking you to do is to pick from one of these three piles. And here we have pile 1 with the Amethyst, pile 2 with the Quartz, and pile 3 with the Rose Quartz. So take a second and turn your thoughts and your intuition inwards. And once you find the pile that speaks most to you, you can get your timestamp using the description below and fast forward to get your own personal reading. And I will see you guys there. Thanks so much. Okay, group 1, welcome to your reading. So these are the cards that I picked for you. And these 4 top cards are the main ones, and then these 4 are the clarifying cards. And the instant that I started shuffling your deck, I got a lot of interesting feelings. I want to say that they're almost primal feelings. I feel like your spirit guide is a fighter, and that the reason that they're drawn to you is because you're also a fighter too. Like, I see you as being a very resilient person. But in any case, let's talk through these cards and talk a little bit more about why I got that today, and if there's any messages that your spirit guide has for you that I can share with you. So the first card we got here is the Queen of Swords. I personally love this card because the Queen of Swords is all about someone who is a fighter, as I said. So they've been through tough things, but they're very intelligent, they're very logical, and they're able to navigate some really rocky waters. And I feel like what your spirit guide is saying is that you have this fighting spirit and you have this energy within you. And the reason that they're paired with you is because they're the same. So your spirit guide is someone who has kind of an attitude where they're able to just roll with the punches, and they're able to just go through all the hard knocks of life and be totally fine. And it's interesting because, as you see, this is a queen here, and the energy that I'm getting is that your spirit guide is a woman. I think that she practices tough love, so she's very motherly and caring in some ways, but she also really wants you to just be your best self and keep pushing yourself, and so she has this kind of tough love vibe to her. And so that is, I think, what your spirit guide cares the most about, because I think that what she's saying is she sees a lot of potential in you, and she knows that you can do anything that you put your mind to. And I think what she wants you to know is that, as you can see here, she has this sword in her hand. Anytime you feel alone or scared or anything like that, just remember that you have her, and she's like the woman with the sword, and she can cut through any of that fear or suffering. You know, if you don't feel well or if you don't feel good about yourself, she's the person who's going to be like, get back on your feet. You can do this. I'm going to cut through this stuff for you. And she's really there to help you. So call upon her whenever you need her. The interesting thing about this spirit guide in particular is that she is there to show you how tough you are. And you might not believe that you are that tough, but you really are. And one thing that I'm noticing just now, and trust me, I've used this deck for years, but if you look at her crown, it's made of butterflies, and it's really cool because butterflies are a symbol of elegance and beauty, but at the same time here they're used as a symbol of power. And she wants you to know that you have that same freedom within you. You have that power, and you also have that elegance and that beauty, and you are this queen type of figure who's able to stand and rise above everything and see things from a more strategic point of view. So this is the message I'm getting from this spirit guide in particular. I actually feel that this is a different spirit guide that's coming through, and this spirit guide is more about travel and planning, but the energy I'm getting here is one of excitement. We all have at least 4 to 8 spirit guides. Like, that's pretty typical and common. So there are probably going to be a few that come through in this reading. This spirit guide, they have a very vibrant energy. It's like an exuberant energy where I think it's a man. They're really happy, they're jolly, they're kind of like a joyful figure in many ways. guides, and I feel like they just have this desire to explore and to be free. Those are like the two things that they really care about. I don't know if you feel a connection to wanting to get financial freedom and wanting to be able to travel the world, but that's kind of the vibes I'm getting as I'm tuning into your spirit guides today. I feel like they're really pushing you to be independent and to have your own life and to kind of go by the beat of your own drum. And this spirit guide in particular, I think he has like a short name, something like Mark, or it's going to be something like that, something pretty short. This spirit guide really just wants you to explore the beauty of the world, and he's showing me like the ocean and the sea, and also the feeling of when you're out on a boat and you're free and you just feel like there's nothing really tying you down. He wants you to tap into that very excited energy. So continue with that if you love traveling. I know that it's a hard time to travel right now, but you're going to be able to do it again in the future because it's part of who you are and it's part of your soul path. So know that traveling is a big theme for you, and you may also have like international business opportunities as well. So make sure that you look out for those and that you prioritize those opportunities because those are the best ones for you. They're most spiritually aligned with you. So here we have the King of Pentacles. And the cool thing is that I feel all of your spirit guides are watching over you and helping to make sure that your financial matters are secure. And that's going to be one thing that I think is important to you, but they're going to make sure it happens absolutely 100% for sure. So you don't need to worry about that. I think with the King of Pentacles, your spirit guides want to push you towards exploring a path where you make your own money. I feel like you're not really born to be in a corporate job or in a job where you work for many people. I feel like you're kind of born to be your own boss. You are supposed to go to the beat of your own drum. I'm seeing a lot of parallels with this card and also the Queen of Swords, as I brought up earlier. So we have the Queen and King here, very strong energy. The Queen of Swords, this spirit guide, what she wants you to know is go out and get it. Just go out and do the thing because you'll be able to do it. You just need to be determined and you need to just keep at it as long as you can. And then here they're promising you that you will make money through this dream or this passion that you have, because I feel like you guys are very passionate about something. There's some type of thing where you're putting a lot of time into it and it's a personal project. Maybe it's not fully at fruition now. I think for some of you, you already have your own side business, but that's a long-term thing for you guys, and you guys are never going to stop doing that. So just keep putting your energy and your time and some funds into that business that you have or into that passion because it's really going to pay off, but it is going to be a little bit of a long game. And what they want you to know is no, you don't have to work for other people forever. You're going to be able to work for yourself, which is great. They're really taking care of your money. So even if there's anything that comes up in the future, your money is going to be taken care of. Even if it feels a little bit tight, you're never going to be in a place that's actually going to hurt you in any way. And that's because they're watching over you and they're taking care of you. So here we have the Five of Swords. And this card symbolizes conflict that's happened in the past, but there's still more to come in the future. And that's usually what it means. I think in this case, your spirit guides are just saying that it's funny. They have a sense of humor. I see your spirit guides kind of like sitting in a circle with rocking chairs and stuff, and they're just talking and having fun, kind of like exchanging jokes. They're used to life and all of the ups and downs that it brings, and because of them being used to that, they're also making sure that you're used to it. So if you feel like your life has been a little bit up and down, or like it's felt really hard, it's kind of because that's the energy that your spirit guides have, but they're so strong. It's like they have brass knuckles. They're just like a really hard, strong personalities. And I think that in the past, they were living in more remote areas, like when they were on this earth, and they were people who were like fishermen, sailors, people who really had to work super hard. And as I said, it's a very primal energy, but it's an energy where they don't really care about any conflict that comes across their path. And so they're bestowing that same attitude to you. So it's like, yeah, there is conflict sometimes. Yeah, there are struggles sometimes, but it doesn't really matter because you always navigate them well and you're always able to get over whatever it is that is in your path. I feel like what they're saying is that you're a fighter and that you'll be able to fight against anything that feels hard or difficult for you. And that's really good because you have this fighting spirit, and a fighting spirit is really the most important thing to have in this lifetime. And so that's what they really want want to nurture in you, and they have that same attitude themselves. So I see them like sitting around together, exchanging jokes, having fun, having a good life, but at the same time, just saying, yeah, conflict comes, but it will pass, and just having a lot of faith in that. And I feel like that is what you need to remember as well. Like, have the faith in yourself, because conflict is always going to come into people's lives, but it's always going to pass. So just remember that. And I also pulled these 4 clarifying cards for you guys. So let's go through these. So we got the Queen of Wands, and that's cool because as you see here, it's next to the Queen of Swords. Queen energy is very strong. It's a strong woman, someone who is really ruling a whole area, but she does it with this kind of distance and this kind of regal sense about her. So I feel like your spirit guide is someone who has been revered and admired by many, many people. You have more than one, but the one that's coming through right now is the same woman from before. I feel like the reason she was always admired by people is because she just holds herself with a lot of courage and determination. And I feel like her life was not necessarily super easy when she was on Earth, but I see that she reincarnated and became a spirit guide because she was ready to do that. It's really interesting because I feel like what she wants you to know is to continue to use your creativity to your benefit and to just keep being as determined as possible, because I think what she's saying is that you have a lot of ideas and sometimes you put them into practice, and I think that you have been increasingly over the last few years. I feel like you've really been trying to put them into practice and make them a real thing. She wants you to continue to do it and continue to pay attention to your ideas and be a little bit more militant about it. And your spirit guide, by the way, this one in particular, is very strong-willed. Like, she's a tough woman and she wants you to be tough too. She does almost approach it with this like militant manner where for her it's like you're either doing it or you're not. And so you need to focus on just continuing to take note of all of those ideas and make sure that you put them into practice in some shape or form. Like, at least write them down so that you have them to refer to, because I would hate for you to lose them. And I think that all of these things are very important for you, where you can actually end up making a decent amount of money from this. So next we have the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is a lot more of a secretive card. So the High Priestess symbolizes secret knowledge, internal knowledge, intuition, spirituality, being able to find all of that within you. I feel like what this is telling you is that, once again, you have everything within you. It's really important that you listen to that because you don't need anything else. In terms of your spirit guide, what this card symbolizes is that you actually have access to your spirit guides at any time. So I feel like you're very curious about who your spirit guides are, but I'm not sure how frequently you're calling upon them. And I feel like the reason you're watching this video is because you want to know more about them and their personalities, and you want to know like their names and all of that stuff. And I'm not 100% clear on names. I feel like I'm going to try and get a little bit. I feel like here, this woman's name, I think it's something short. It's like a Julia or something like that. And same with this man. It's like Mark or something similar to that. You'll have to let me know if I'm accurate later on down the road. And of course, there's many of you, and many of you will have different names for your spirit guides, but just know it's like a short name for both the woman and man. What they want you to know is you really do need to call upon them more. And what I'm seeing is going out in the morning, being outside. If you have a porch, sitting on your porch, soaking in the sun, and just thinking like very carefully about what you want to channel from your spirit guide, who they are, and what messages you want to get from them. And be sure that you ask them explicitly, because they can't really help you unless you ask them. And for some reason, I'm getting that it will be better if you ask them when you are outside in nature. So next we have the Sun, and the Sun is clarifying the King of Pentacles here, and that's really good because, once again, I told you guys that you guys are gonna have your own business, you're gonna make your own money, you are gonna be an entrepreneur in some ways, but I see a lot of you doing this in a more spiritual way, so you might not be like the classic entrepreneur, so to speak. I see this being a very profitable thing for you, so you need to continue with that. I feel like with the Sun, your spirit guides are telling you that You just need to continue doing what you're doing, but you need to like throw your whole self into it and make sure that you're putting all of your energy into it, not just half. You need to do everything. So they're kind of being a little bit tough on you, but I think that you're a tough person and you can take it, and just ask them for help. Like be really specific about where and how you need help, because they don't really know exactly where you need help unless you ask. But what they have been doing is like pushing you towards opportunities and solutions that will benefit you. And lastly, here we have the Knight of Wands. And I love this card because the two spirit guides who have come through really clearly, they have this like knight-like energy. So yes, one of them is the queen and she's very bold and tough, but they also have this knight-like energy of just being a fast, scrappy type of person where they just want you to charge ahead and do the thing. And it's funny because I feel like they're very humorous. Like they're telling you, yes, conflict is going to come up. It's kind of part of your life. There's going to be stuff that is hard, but they're telling you charge ahead. Don't care about what anyone else says. You just need to go full steam with it. And I think they want you to take this approach in your whole life. So if you have been holding back about anything or feeling cautious or anything like that, they're telling you like, just keep going, just keep going. You kind of have to jump off the cliff in order to fly, if you know what I mean. It feels really scary, but that's what you have to do in order to be as successful as you can be. They want you to just keep going. Even though life feels tough sometimes, keep going, and it's really important that you persevere and that you stay determined. So I hope that this reading gave you some clarity and guidance, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you would like a personal reading, please book using my Schedulicity link in my YouTube banner above, and just remember I am in the Eastern time zone. Alright guys, I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much. Okay, group 2, welcome to your reading. So we're going to find out a little bit about who your spirit guide is and what messages they have in store for you. So I picked these 4 main cards for you guys, and then I pulled these 4 clarifying cards. So the first card that I pulled for you guys is Strength. And instantly when I was shuffling your deck, the sense that I got about your spirit guide is that it's a guy, and I think that he's quite calm and he's also quite strategic. So that's how I would describe him. I think that the lesson he wants you to learn throughout your life is perseverance. So you can see strength here, and strength is quite similar to perseverance, but I think more specifically what he cares is about you playing a long game. So there's going to be things that you have to put a lot of effort into, and not everything happens like immediately, but he knows that you have the perseverance that will help you keep going throughout your lifetime. You need to be able to achieve your dreams and goals, but he wants you to persevere over the long haul. And just remember that that's kind of the first message that's coming through. And the other thing is that when you see this card Strength, it's usually about taming the lion within you. As you can see here, this angelic figure, she is holding the lion's jaws. And for some people, this would be very scary, but for her, she does it with a lot of calm and a lot of poise. And that's kind of the message he wants to send to you as well, is that, you know, not everything is going to be tamed immediately, but through patience and time and building trust, that's actually your like unique strategy and value proposition. So you need to be that person who builds trust, who is steady and stable and does that over time. And if you do that over time, then you're going to be really successful, and it's going to kind of trickle into all of the different areas of your life. So I did mention that this is a male energy that's coming through, and here we have the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is the ruler of the kingdom. He has a lot of courage. He's a very poised figure, and he has this wand in his hand, and it's kind of like his staff. You know, he's able to see everything and have that perspective. I feel like your spirit guide is really good at seeing things from a bird's eye view, and that's kind of what he's trying to help you with throughout this life as well. If you ever feel like you're getting caught in the details or kind of getting caught in the day-to-day things, just remember your spirit guide is there to help you zoom out and help you understand, what is the purpose of this thing happening in my life? What is it teaching me? How am I going to use it to become a better person and to achieve my dreams and my goals? And I think that your spirit guide, he's a very humble person. Like, that's the energy that I have. He also wants to help you develop really strong relationships with people. You have a lot of creativity, but the way that you become successful is actually through your relationships. Like, you build trust with people, and you have this amazing way of making people really listen to what you say. And I feel like that's how you're going to be successful. Your spirit guide is kind of sharing his humility and his calm nature with you so that you can be the same, and you really inspire people through this like calm presence that you bring. So the next card that we got for you guys is the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is a really good card because it shows that you've been working really hard, and it shows that you're kind of looking at the fruits of your labor and, you know, being somewhat impressed and happy by what you've done. I think what your spirit guide wants to instill in you is this feeling of never giving up, always working hard. Even if you feel like you're done with something, you're going to continue working on it because that's who you are. You have that nature. And your spirit guide is the type of person who, what he shows me is like a train track, and it's like the train doesn't just stop somewhere because they achieved a milestone or a goal. You know, the train keeps going and going and going, and because it keeps going, it's able to see the perspective of the whole world. You know, it travels throughout all of these different paths, and every time that the train is moving, it's able to see more and more. And so I feel like what he wants you to know is just keep on your journey and be willing to keep traveling along all of the different hills and roadsides and basically the ups and downs that come in your life. And it's through this long-term view and this perseverance that you will be successful and that you'll be able to have the happiest life. For some people, they have like an ending point where there's one big goal that they've been working towards, but I feel like it's not really like that for you, and I feel like your spirit guide purposely doesn't want it to be like that. What he wants is for you to just continue exploring things and continue being a very determined and patient person, and it's that unique blend of determination and patience that allows you to really do what you love and allows other people to buy into everything that you say and all of the gifts that you have to share. So next we have the Page of Pentacles. With this card, what I'm getting is your spirit guide sees that you have these cool ideas, and it's really interesting because those ideas are like seeds and you need to bring them to fruition. And so the fact that we have these two cards next to each other is symbolic because it shows that you have all these ideas and your spirit guide wants to implement the ideas so that you actually work on them in the long haul. And if you see here, there's this like beautiful clump of trees, almost like an orchard, that's in the back of the Page of Pentacles card. And that's very much how you need to think about all of the things that you're doing in your life. So I feel like you need to think of it as it's a long game, you know, it's not a short game. And with an orchard, you have to tend to it and you have to care for it. And it's something where it takes a lot of patience, but it's totally worth it because you literally see the fruits of your labor. And so I feel like in this card, your spirit guide is once again showing the persistence and the determination, but this is more in the realm of ideas. So when you have ideas, be willing to think about, you know, how can I 10x that idea? How can I develop it from where it is now so that it can become even bigger and even more creative? And so always push yourself when you have ideas, and your spirit guide can help you with this. So call upon him when you want to. You can do that through meditation or even like writing in a journal. You can write like, Dear Spirit Guide, and ask him for something in particular, and he can help you with this. And then randomly, another thing that I got for you guys is that nutrition is very important to you. I don't know if some of you have like businesses in nutrition, but I feel like nutrition is a good area for you to focus on. Maybe because it helps you with your physical self, but I think that it actually could be a good business thing for you too. So make sure that you tune into that and make sure that you listen to it, because it could also mean that you're not eating as healthy as you need to be. Although I feel like for most of you, you are very healthy already, but just keep that in mind. All right, so we also got the Wheel of Fortune, and these four here are the clarifying cards. For the Wheel of Fortune, what it's showing me is that you're going to need a lot of strength in your life, because we have the Wheel of Fortune and it's the clarifying card for strength. I feel like in your life, you go through a lot of twists and turns, but it's interesting because it's not like I see anything where it's like a huge bad change. They're just like small things that happen over time, and they can sometimes take you by surprise. But I think overall the Wheel of Fortune is good in your spread because it's showing that with every twist in the journey, you're able to build that extra strength and additional courage and perseverance that your spirit guide really wants you to tap into. I feel like with your spirit guide, he's the type of person who kind of goes with the flow, but he does it in a way where he's just very focused. And I feel like he wants you to stay focused. It's very important that you don't let yourself kind of go out on a limb and lose sight of the big picture. Remember, your spirit guide is about zooming out and looking at the big picture, and that's kind of what he wants to give to you. And so when things happen in your life, always ground yourself by thinking 10 years from now, how will this have impacted me? Or how will this have influenced me? And honestly, in many cases, it can be an amazing life influence that happens, but in other cases, sometimes nothing really happens from it, and it's not really as big of a deal as you think it is in that moment. So I think the message your spirit guide wants to send is just always ground yourself by zooming out. And you can even do that through asking friends and getting perspective, talking to people who are older than you. I know it sounds weird. I think your spirit guide wants you to talk to people who are older than you because they have a good perspective on life, and they'll help you understand that things aren't really that much of a big deal in the moment. So this card here is a card of some trepidation. So it's like you've done something, you've been through a journey, and you're feeling a little bit uncertain and scared of what is to come next. And I think what your spirit guide wants you to know is that it's funny. He's saying at times I had these thoughts and I had these feelings, but that's why the persistence and the strength and just the perseverance over time is so important. These thoughts and feelings come and go, but at the end of the day, what's really within you is the King of Wands here, not so much what's going on here. So yes, you might have these thoughts and feelings where you're not quite sure if things will work out, but your spirit guide wants you to know that actually that's not true. The truth is that you have all of these wands at your disposal, and wands are symbolic of ideas and wish fulfillment. They're very fast moving, and that's how they show up usually. Be willing to push yourself and be willing to do things that are outside of your comfort zone. This is really all about stepping out of your comfort zone, and your spirit guide is tasked to help you with that, because I think sometimes you stay within your comfort zone because you're not sure if the return on investment will be good enough, but actually you need to go out of your comfort zone. That's a very important thing for you, and going out of your comfort zone is what allows you to be more successful, more creative, and more joyful and happy as a person. So next we have the Empress, and this is interesting because for me this is the first female energy that I get in this spread. The Empress energy is more feminine, it's more about abundance and fertility, and also a sense of regalness. It definitely taps into some of the things I shared previously about the fruits of your labor, and with the Empress, this can be a literal thing, it can symbolize a pregnancy. But I think that in showing this card, what your spirit guide wants you to know, and especially since this is a clarification here, you are a very strong person. And sometimes you need to be reminded of that. And you need to be reminded, if you are a woman, of your very courageous womanhood. That's how I would put it. Because if you look at these two cards next to each other, there's a lion here, and this woman is kind of taming the lion. And then we have the Empress here, and she is just a very powerful figure. And so be reminded of the fact that you are very courageous and you're very strong. But I feel like you might have a female spirit guide as well who is telling you, be courageous, be bold. Whereas the first spirit guide to me feels more patient and strategic and about zooming out. This spirit guide is more about being bold and going forward in the face of danger and not being afraid, not feeling that trepidation that sometimes comes up here, but instead, really just, it's like dancing in the ring of fire. So it feels very scary, but she is kind of saying to you, you're not going to get burnt as long as you go out of your comfort zone. So that's something that both of these guides seem to share. They want you to go out of your comfort zone, and you need to make sure that you do that more regularly. And then here we have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is a really good card. It's opportunistic, and it shows that there's basically more to come. There's more good things to come. And so it's funny because I feel like your spirit guides are leaving this on a cliffhanger in some respects. They want you to know that there's a lot of good things to come for you, but I don't think they want to tell you exactly what they are. And so with your spirit guides, I feel like there's a couple things that they want you to tune into here. One is I feel like they want you to be close to the water. I don't know why, but the Page of Cups, it's like a water symbol as well. So you can see here, he's surrounded by water. He has the fish, very Piscean kind of energy. So be close to the water. It's important for you to relax, recharge, rejuvenate, and make sure that you're able to just soak in the energy of being in kind of a more remote place whenever you can get out there. And I think that what they want you to know is there are a lot of emotional things that will happen in your life, but you are very stable and steady, and you'll be able to have that perspective to deal with them because you're able to rise above and have that 10-foot view, so to speak. I think that what your spirit guides really value in you is that you have this blend of courage, but also strategy and being able to zoom out and see things from a broader perspective. And that's really what you need to anchor to. So remember, you can call upon your spirit guides whenever you want to, write them a letter, ask them in a meditation for help, let them know exactly what you want and need, and they'll be there to help you with it. And you can also ask them for signs. Like, you can say to them, hey, spirit guides, please send me a sign of a ship. And then you might see an image of a ship or some kind of trinket of a ship, and it will just come into your life and you'll know that they've heard you. So make sure that you do those things because I think that you're kind of not using them enough. So use them more. And I hope that this reading gave you some clarity and guidance today. If you guys would like a personal reading, you can book using my Schedulicity link above. And just remember, I am in the Eastern time zone. And once again, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Okay, group 3, welcome to your reading. I've picked these 4 cards for you guys, which are typically the main cards for the reading, but I want you guys to know that these 4 clarifying cards are equally as important, and that's because the message that I'm going to share with you is very important from your spirit guide today. So first of all, before I go into all of the different cards, I want you to know that your spirit guide sees that you really need them at this point in your life. So that was what I was getting loud and clear when I was shuffling your cards. I feel like you're watching this video because you really need your spirit guide and you're looking for hope and you're looking for guidance based on what's been going on in your life, as well as some of the past events that have happened. And what I want you to know is your spirit guide hears and sees everything that you've been going through and are going through, and they've had similar experiences themselves. They want you to know that literally things are going to get better and it's just around the corner, but you need to just keep believing in yourself. That is a super important message that's coming up. And guys, I know that some of the cards that I pulled today, if you're familiar with tarot, these cards look a little bit hard and scary, and I feel like it reflects what's been going on in your life very well. But if that doesn't resonate with you, then obviously only take what does resonate with you. That's just a quick disclaimer before I go into the rest of these cards. But there are many good things to come, and you can see that in these cards that are coming here too. So stay tuned. So the first card that I got for you guys is the 10 of Swords. And it's funny because I hadn't even looked at the cards that I pulled, and this is the image that was coming in my mind pretty strong. So I feel like you guys have been through some kind of ending, some kind of loss, and feeling like not really knowing what to do next. And what your spirit guide wants you to know is that actually it's not the end. It definitely is not the end. It really is a new beginning. And I know it sounds corny, but this thing was brought into your life to teach you about yourself and to show you that you are a lot stronger than you think. Your spirit guide has had some issues as well in the past. And I'm just going to be super clear. I feel like for a lot of you, what might be happening here is issues with substance abuse and stuff like that, or relationships that have been really, really hard to deal with. And your spirit guide has had similar experiences in the past, and they've actually reincarnated to kind of pay it forward. They've been through that, and they're going to walk alongside you as you go through this journey, because your true life is just beginning now. So up until this point, I feel like it's been pretty difficult for you, but you've realized that something has to change. And a lot of that is realizing that you need to be fair to yourself, and you need to treat yourself fairly, and the way that other people treat you needs to be fair as well. And your spirit guide is committed to helping you with that. And what they want you to know is that it can be a painful process. It is like cleaning out stuff that you've had to deal with before. It can be very painful and it can be hard, but the worst is actually over and the best is yet to come, as they say. Just keep on doing what you're doing and don't give up. It's very important that you do not give up, because you have that strength within you, and your spirit guide is going to help you every single step of the way. So know that you can count on them. One thing that your spirit guide wants you to know is that you're not trapped. So as you can see in this card, we have the 8 of Swords, and this woman has a blindfold on and she has all these swords around her and she thinks that she's trapped. But the truth is, I know it feels as if you are trapped, and it feels like, maybe there's no clear way out, but your spirit guide is saying loud and clear that there is a clear way out, and he's going to help you with it every single day. So just so you know, your spirit guide, what I'm getting is he's a guy, and I think that in the past he had some issues with substance abuse. He's clean now, everything's fine for him now. And he was able to kind of get more clarity and guidance. And I feel the way he did this was through meditation and through really tuning in and being able to understand himself more. And once he understood himself more and he kind of grappled with both the light and the darkness inside of him, then he was able to come out on top and create good relationships with other people. And I think your spirit guide is brought to you because even if you don't relate to that exact situation, he knows that you are dealing with stuff that is hard in your life, and he's going to be right by you in order to make sure that you get through it. And so he said the first lesson that you guys need to know is that you're not trapped, and to start thinking about the things that you have that are in your control that actually help you become more free and become more open. That's really important to focus on. So what you can do is write down a list of 100 things that help you feel free and open and things that are in your control, because that shows you all of the good stuff that you already have in your life. And trust me, it can be something small, but these things are super important. It can be like having a roof over your head, or having a best friend to call, or someone to text when you're not feeling well. It can be anything like that, but it's important that you start counting these small blessings, because those small blessings become big blessings later on in your life. And I am going through the top row first, so just know that the reading is going to get a little bit more positive, so to speak, as we get to the second row. So your spirit guide can relate to this situation of feeling like you've lost something, because here we have the 5 of Cups. And I feel like you guys have gone through a lot of changes in the last few years, and I feel like it has made certain people in your life distance themselves from you, and you're kind of really sad about that and feeling like you kind of want those people back. And it's interesting because although those people are good people, it also shows that they're not really truly willing to go through thick and thin with you. And so what your spirit guide wants you to know is that that had to happen in order to cleanse your life and help you start on a blank slate. And now that you have this blank slate, it's really important that the people that you bring into your life are respectful of you and are helpful to you, and that those people are people who are going to stand beside you no matter what. And the way that you'll know this is just how well these people listen and how well they're willing to help you talk through some of the thoughts and feelings that you have. So I feel like even if there's 1 or 2 people, it's much better to have 1 or 2 people than 7 or 8 people who don't listen to you. So try and find those 1 or 2 people who you can talk to about anything and share your thoughts and feelings with them. And obviously try not to burden them too much, but those people are there for you, and they're there and ready to help you. And those 1 or 2 people are going to help you navigate your life. And your spirit guide also wants you to know that it's very important during this time that you look within as much as possible. So you have to meditate, you have to get away from repetitive thought patterns, which are kind of not really helping you right now, and try and tune in and try and get really strong on who you are. And what can really help you guys is reciting mantras. So there are certain mantras that you can recite. You can look them up if you look up transcendental meditation, for example, or just like look up a YouTube video online and try and recite those mantras and really get into the zone and lose yourself from the current situation that you're facing right now, and also the current situation the world is facing, and you'll be able to really tune into a different energy. So I think what your spirit guide wants you to know is that there is a higher vibrating energy that is available to you, and the way that you do that is going to be through meditation as your primary channel. Okay, so let's get through this last card here, which is a little bit more difficult. So like I said, your spirit guide has been through some pretty intense stuff, and I feel like you have too. So this card, the 5 of Pentacles, resembles feeling like you're out in the cold and feeling like you're alone, and usually feeling like you don't have a lot of support. But the thing is that the worst has already happened, as I said, and the best is yet to come. And so all of the stuff that happened in the past, yes, it happened, and yes, it was very hard, but actually you're going on a new path now. And it's really interesting because your spirit guide is brought to you as a kind of teacher and a counselor at the same time. And what they want you to do is share your story with other people, because that's really going to help other people get through hard times. And it will also be very healing for you. And through sharing your story and being more vocal about what you've been through, because honestly, some people don't even realize all of the stuff that you've been through and the extent of it, it will really help you to transform as a person and kind of rise above some of the challenges that you've faced in the past. So I told you that the best is yet to come, and you can definitely see that in these 4 cards that are coming up here. So this is a really important part of the reading to pay attention to. So here we have the 3 of Wands, and this is clarifying the 10 of Swords here. 3 of Wands is about strategy and planning and really understanding the next steps that you can take. And so your spirit guide wants you to know that now is kind of like a clean slate, and you can go whatever way you want to, but it's very important that when you do it, you are focused on only one thing at a time. And the reason is because if you try and focus on 10 things at a time, then you're going to become very overwhelmed, and you could end up back in this place, which we don't want for you. So instead, focus on doing one thing. And my advice is to focus on really tuning into yourself in order to kind of channel the best clarity that you'll need to go forward in the future. If you don't already meditate, I would go really intense into meditation. I feel like for you guys, it will be so beneficial. And then once you have that practice and it is a core part of your life, I feel like then you can step out and you can do other stuff and start getting more creative. And the interesting thing is, I feel like your spirit guide is also telling you that you need to tap a little bit more into your creativity. And I really mean building and making beautiful things. So if you are not into painting or anything like that yet, painting and expressing yourself through art and through creativity is going to be really healing for you. And then the other thing that I'm getting is it would be really good for you to have some animals around. I think your spirit guide is an animal lover, and that they found this very healing for them. So you can consider getting like a dog or a cat. I think that will be a really balancing influence for you and will kind of allow you to love something in your life that will be a very stable partner for you for a long time. And having the responsibility to care for someone else will also help you care for yourself, so to speak. And I feel like that will really help you get through this situation. So here we have the 6 of Cups. And what this card is showing in this particular context is your spirit guide is saying that you're able to get through this through uplifting others eventually. So I told you first, you have to focus on one thing, and that one thing has to be yourself in some shape or form. So like I said, meditation, getting really into those messages is really important. But later on in your life, I feel like you're going to be pulled to share your story and share what you've been through. And this card is a card of childlike joy and wonder, and really kind of feeling happy and in awe of everything that's happened to you. And it also represents stuff from the past. And so it's really interesting because what your spirit guide is saying is that stuff from the past happened for a reason, and it happened because it's going to propel you towards a better future, and a future where you're able to truly help people and pull them out of difficult circumstances, give them the hope that you once needed. And so that is right around the corner for you, and all of the stuff that has already happened is kind of gone. And so I very much encourage you to think of it as in the past, and now you're going towards a better place where you will be able to help a broader community of people. Your spirit guide, as I mentioned, had this past with, I think it's like substance abuse, and I think that was very hard for them. But I think what they found is that through that experience, they developed a bond in a community with people in a way that they never have before. And I mentioned previously, I think there have been people in your life who have kind of distanced themselves from you, and you're not really sure why that happened, or maybe you know why, but you're just really hurt by it. And it's interesting because now that you've been through this situation, you actually are going to have a much stronger community than you had before. So know that that is just around the corner for you, and it's in your future. And you will be able to help those people, and those people will be able to help you, but they're going to see you as the guide and as the person that they look towards for support and for guidance. And so I think it's really cool because I know you have been through something that's hard and challenging, but you are going to be able to guide other people, and that's what your spirit guide really wants for you. So just look at this card and how happy it is, and you are a true turnaround story. This card is one of the happiest of all. So this is the 10 of Cups, and this symbolizes bliss. And so what your spirit guide wants you to know is that you're going to be in a very blissful state soon enough. And I know it sounds crazy based on what you've been through and where you are now. People are going to be in awe of your transformation, both physically, spiritually, energetically. They're just going to see a major change in you. And your spirit guide went through this change themselves. And so he wants you to know that this is completely available to you, and he's going to be there every single step of the way, like I said. What this really means is tapping into your community. As I said, you do need to take the time to kind of ground yourself and meditate first, but the community is there for you and it's waiting for you, basically. So once you're ready for it, you can grab the bull by the horns and be a guide and be a person who other people look towards. And the primary way of doing this is to share your story and also share some tips and recommendations for how you got through that situation yourself. And what I see for you is doing webinars, classes, focus groups, even kind of counseling circles and stuff like that. And so I feel like you going into this kind of counseling or healing space is going to be a really good fit for you, and it's really going to help you inspire and lift up other people. So your spirit guide is showing that a lot of the things that they've been through and that you are also going through are tied to karma, but in a good way, where now that you've done the really, really hard work, which came in these 4 cards here, you are actually going to be rewarded financially because of it. So the more that you uplift other people and the more that you're sure of who you are and you have that strong core, the more you'll be able to make money with ease. So you will be financially successful and abundant. And I think it's because you create this kind of community and group of supportive people who are there to help each other. And those people are like brothers and sisters. It's very similar to being in the army, for example, where you have your peers, but they're like brothers and sisters to you and you would take a bullet for them. And so these people that come in your community are going to be very much the same. So I hope that you guys focus on community very much so, and really be willing to put yourself out there, because that community is there for you and you're going to make a lot of money from it. This is in many ways a rags to riches story, because we have this card here which symbolizes the rags part, and this part here is the riches. And so you're going to make this amazing transformation, and it's all to come. So I hope that this reading gave you some clarity and guidance today. I hope that you take what resonates and leave the rest. As I said, it seems like there's a lot of really good things around the corner for you guys, and I hope that you guys do get into meditation. I think it will really, really help you. And the more you get into the meditation and then the more you get into community, the more successful you'll be. So if you guys want a personal reading, you can book in my Schedulicity link using my YouTube banner above. And just remember, I am in the Eastern time zone, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I wish you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.